From this evening, I must give the British people a very simple instruction. You must stay at home. Stay at home. Stay at home.
So, it's like I don't even know what day it is into the UK's 4th lockdown. And I thought, hey, I spend way too much time watching anime, so why not give my thoughts on anime that I thought was kinda slept on in the 2020 full season. Big Boy Bojo basically told us we had to stay inside again, and this sorta led me to try and catch up on all the animes I wanted to wait till they were fully released after they finished airing in full. Awesome for you normal people out there. And this finally led me to start watching a show called Talentless Nana, also known as Amonu no Nana in Japanese. So before I begin, this show was definitely slept on this season compared to its competition that it faced during its airing time. I mean, I don't blame people for not choosing to watch this show when shows like Jujutsu Kaisen, Tonikaku Kawaii, can I just add the most wholesome anime ever, and Akudama Drive were making their anime debuts. I kind of feel like if you really wanted to watch the show during its airing time, you've either read the source material prior, or you've seen the trailers before it was released, and kept tabs on it ever since. I mean, at first glance at its cover on Mao, it doesn't really entice you. And it didn't for me either, which is why I decided to put it on hold to a later date. And I mean, if you look at reviews, well, it's clear to see some people weren't too happy about the show. I'm not going to lie, it did put me off for a while. In fact, I thought about completely dropping it from my list altogether, but that small part of me felt like it was a dark horse. And boy, was I right. Despite starting the video with negative surrounding it, I've got to say, this anime kept me going the whole way. Not once did I think to take a break and come back to it. Nope. I had to finish it as soon as I could. After a couple sittings, okay, rookie numbers I know, to watch 12 episodes, I was left wanting more. I'll try and sum up as best I can, purely because of the fact that when I went on Mal and consulted it prior just to see what it described it as, the description really doesn't do it justice in comparison to what it actually is, and I felt like I should give it a better explanation from someone who's actually watched the show. Not trying to throw any shade at Mal, but honestly, I feel like the description could have been a lot better. Right, so Talentless Nana revolves around a high school girl named Hiragi, who is also sent to an island to assassinate her superpowered classmates one by one each night, without gaining or arousing suspicion towards her. In a superpowered world, these special humans are regarded as the enemies of humanity by those who are powerless, and are sent to multiple islands where they are brainwashed through education to think that they are trained to fight aliens who threaten the overall humanity's existence. Okay, that was a mouthful. I mean, I apologize for the long-winded explanation, but trust me, I mean, the way that Mel writes it, it comes from a different character's perspective, which I didn't really understand, when they're not really as relevant to the story. But hey, it's okay guys, it's okay. I'm here to educate you. I'm here to educate. Am I right? God, I'm cringing so hard right now. And a quick TLDR for your motherfuckers that don't actually bother listening. Superpowered humans on an island. Nana assassinates all of them. And assassin shit. But let's get real here for a second. Immediately as the show starts, we get a glimpse of the high stakes we as viewers are going to be enveloped in as the show progresses with the simple statement, kill the enemies of humanity, save 10 million lives. And I'm not gonna lie, when I saw this, I knew I was in for one hell of a ride mentally. Keyword here, mentally. Remember, Talentless Nana is a psychological thriller where we see the murder mystery take place from the perspective of the murderer. However, over the course of the season we learn Hiragi's motives and backstory, which makes us understand her intentions more. But this is the part that really got me. Over the course of the season, we really begin to learn why Hiragi commits the act she does. Is it for revenge? Is it for personal gain? Or is it for something that supersedes what we think far beyond our minds that we can simply not comprehend, nor shall we try to distinguish? Well, actually, it's a little bit from the first two. From episode 1, Hiragi starts with a simple select your target and remove them before you arouse suspicion. But by episode 13, the emotional bond she forms on the students, as she spends more time with them, really begins to impact her original motives. The anime really plays and tugs on those small but precious moments, really making you question, is she really going to kill him or her next? And by each passing minute, you can sense each character's vulnerability. Her two split personalities that she portrays throughout the show each of her passing thoughts, and the conflict that constantly arises within her, which really makes some of the show relatable, because us as viewers sometimes have a lot of internal struggles that we have troubles dealing with. Can she really keep killing her classmates? Are they really the monsters that we think they are? Or is it a matter of them being a ticking time bomb? This is something I found playing throughout my mind constantly whilst watching from Hiragi's point of view. It questions morality, loyalty, and whether people can be falsely led of someone else's narratives. Those three aspects really create some sort of high that you as a viewer really bring into question, as these are also the things that people hold most dear to them. Following on, one thing that I found really enjoyable about the show was how Hiragi took apart and analysed the show's diverse cast of superpowered kids. We have the brawn, the fuckboy, the basic bitches, and the necromancer and the zombie. A surprisingly useless teacher and a few other characters who pop up in the show. Wait, this is just summarise the characters. Are they really that diverse? Wait. This is supposed to be a good review. Come on, good review. I know you got problems with the show, Joe, but it's okay. Right, back to the point. She was well aware of how dangerous each person can be, with her phone telling her estimated kill potential, and acted accordingly. Without going into too much spoilers, so I'll insert some sort of spoiler warning here. The way she understands and tries to get to know her victims prior to killing them is really what strikes a chord with me. Especially the kid who could time travel. Like, I'm not gonna lie. I wouldn't have thought to dig a hole and create some sort of spy trap before he lands from his time travel to actually kill him. She'd skillfully choose her next victim, spending multiple hours with them to really break down the defenses, earning their trust. I think this is what really stuck with me, since the levels of portrayal in this show are unparalleled, but it really gets your brain thinking along with Hiragi's, as to how she should remove her fellow classmates from the equation. Hiragi exploited the class's openness to allow her to gather intel, make a plan, and strike her victims down in cold blood, with her IQ at least being in the triple digits. Well, for most of the show anyways. I think one of the most important elements that kept me going along this whole show was the amount of mystery shrouding around it. And before you guys go crazy saying it's a psychological thriller blah 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 and that's normal for this type of show, the murdering part isn't just the only mystery. There's so much more to it than that, which brings me nicely to something that this show reminded me of a lot during my watch time. And that show is Dangonronpa. Wait a minute, you can't do that! You just went from an anime to a game! That's an anime! Surely that's illegal. But just hear me out for a second. When watching this show, I couldn't help but not stop thinking about it. They both have diverse casts, amazing artwork and animation. Both feature very similar environments, albeit with their own unique twists, but their plots somehow give off a similar vibe. Of course, I'll tip off my hat here to Dangonronpa for taking the overall crown on this one for mystery, but Talentless Nana really gave me that vibe, which kept me hooked the entire time. Throughout the course of the games, you as a protagonist have to constantly work out who commits the murder, and which rattles your brain throughout the entire show. And I mean, in Talentless Nana, the seemingly anti-hero Kyo was always trailing behind Hiragi's killings, but he always catches on somehow. It kind of gave me a weird insight as to how the killer in Danganronpa would have actually felt if they succeeded in their endeavours. Also, I know friends are going to see this, and say, I've not even completed the first game. But hey, I've played just enough to understand, okay? Please, not bully. Without going into spoilers, I think I'd rather let you guys uncover it for yourself. I've got Talentless Nana added to my manga list purely for what the show did. And I want to add, I wouldn't be surprised if it's going to be a one-season Andy, acting as a way to entice people to get into the manga. Because if so, it did a hella good job. After a shitty year in 2020, anime really did help me pull through, as much as I like it or not. And I think for many people, they resorted to all sorts of measures to keep themselves happy or entertained during lockdown. And despite it coming at the end of the year, Talentless Nana really did keep me entertained. With its competitors in the same season being such big names, it's easy to see why Talentless Nana isn't being spoken about as much. However, I made this video in hopes that just maybe some of you might pick it up and give it the recognition it does deserve. Don't get me wrong, I still found some things about the show to be slightly annoying or just outright dumb, which could end the show within seconds. But I think it's because that these mistakes are purposely let through that we as a viewer experience the thrill that we see before us today. I'll be real here, there's no Attack on Titan, episode 19 of Demon Slayer that broke the internet, or ReZero Season 2 that completely lived up to all the hype. It's simply its own anime with a decent plot to keep anyone entertained. I haven't ever felt as passionate to ever want to make a video about anime. However, coming across the show and seeing how it was received, I felt like someone had to provide a more in-depth opinion into the show. I hope I can maybe persuade a few of you to maybe check out the show when you have time. I mean, it's 2021 and most of us are still in lockdown, so you might as well go and check it out. Also, if you like this sort of content, which I'm very new to, please consider leaving a like and subscribing for more future content. And thank you very much for watching, and I'll catch you guys in the next video.